Hey, welcome back. So we are out here creating a new table for our slider images. So to start this table creation process, click on your database and then click on new, and then we create a new table. So we're going to call this one slider underscore images. That's the name of the table. And we did create some information here on how many columns we need. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's add 4 more here. I'm going to click to add 4. Then I'm going to say ID. Now, when adding, in case you add too many of them, just don't bother about it. If you don't type any information in the boxes, it's going to ignore it. So we want ID. We're not going to have thousands of slider images, so int is just fine here. Now let's go down here and see the rest of these guys. So there's header 1, there's header 2. Now I think just for it to be more descriptive, we're going to say text like that, underscore header 1 underscore text, and then here just text or main text or main message. I don't know, this is entirely up to you. So let me just put text there, that's okay. And then let's go to link. We need a link, and then we need image and image 2 and disabled. So we need image and then image 2 and then disabled. That way we know whether to enable or disable it, to show it or not show it. Okay, so here we're going to put variable character, of course, and same thing here. Text, variable character, of course. Link, variable character. Image, same. Image, same. Disabled, we're going to use tinyInt and set the value to 1. Now the thing is here, I want to know how long this text is, right? But I don't want to start counting one by one. So let's use some PHP. Here I'm simply going to do this. I'm going to put some PHP tags on the text itself. I'm going to do this. PHP, or just put the equal sign and then say string length like that. So strlen, string length like that, and then close that. Let's add the full stop as well. Close that, close the tags. That way I'm going to get a number, and let me put this in quotation marks because this is a string, so I'm going to put that in quotes. That way it's going to count for me, so if I refresh I'll get a number. So there's 124 characters there, which is fine. So I think we can get away with 200 characters. All right, so back here to text, let's put that at 200, and here come back, let's look at how long is the title. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I think maybe 20 will do just fine. And this one can be 30. So you're going to have to experiment here and see what works best for you. Okay. And link, well, you're going to have to put links to your website of other pages that somebody can click. Most likely that will be the shop button here. When you say get it now, it's going to take you to a particular item that is being advertised here. So just keep in mind of the length of that link, that how long that might be. So come back here and let's say, yeah, let's put 200 on that as well, just in case. And let's put 500 on that image link and 500 there just to be safe. Okay, I think we've done it. Oh, the ID, by the way, must have auto increment set on and then primary index as well. And then let's hit go. save. All right, slider images. There we go. So we have a table now. Now the thing is, we're not going to be searching for anything in this table because we just want to store the information. We're not going to be searching for a particular image in here. So I'm not going to add any indexes or indices here at all. Only the ID will remain having an index, but maybe disabled will, because when reading from this table, we're going to be asking whether a particular row is disabled or not. So let's add an index there to the very last column. So don't add unique here, because I've seen some of you guys mistakenly adding the unique index. Be careful to add the index, the normal index here, because if you add unique, it's going to cause problems in saving in your database. All right, to confirm that you did not add unique here, you look at your indexes and make sure they say big tree like this. Okay, so, oh wait a minute, no, here, where it says unique, actually, that's what you should pay attention to. It should say no for the disabled, and it should say yes for the primary index. All right, so if you have that correctly, then we are good to go. So we are done here. So let's go back and create the required settings to actually save something in here. So I'm going to go back to, we're going to forget about this. Let me undo this part a bit up to where there are no more PHP tags and save. Okay, so now what we need to do is go to the admin area. So this is my admin controller here in controllers and admin, because we need to create the view in the admin section. So I'm going to go down here, right click, admin, and I want to open that up. Then I'm going to go to settings and slider images. Now, if you notice here, what's happening is that regardless whether I'm on slider images or I am on social links, I get exactly the same page. So why is that? Well, the reason is because where admin is the page, which is the controller, and then we're using the settings function for both. So there's admin and there's settings, which is the same exact function. The only difference is the slider images at the end there. And on the other one, we have socials. So how do we fix this issue? So we will come here and we'll have to use this type that is there. So if I had another parameter at the very end here, let's say socials slash something, I would have to add another parameter here to capture that item, like so. So sometimes to prevent errors, it's a good idea to set these to empty strings like that, like so, so that even though they're not there, you still have an empty string to deal with. Okay, so now that we do have type, we just have to check whether type is slider images or socials. So the page title is safe out here because it depends on type here, so that's okay. But this one says get all settings, right? But on slider images, we don't need these settings. What we need is what do we need? We need to read from the slider table. So let me see and leave everything that I need on both sides. So I need the user. I need to check if the user is logged in. That's okay. And then if something was posted, this is entirely for the settings socials there. So we're going to put our if statement right here. Select the right page or something like that. And then we'll put an if statement here and say if type be equal to socials. I hope that's the correct spelling. And then let me move everything here that only resides in socials over, like so. And then I'll move this closing tag down here up to there. Okay, so now only when it's socials does it show that. Otherwise, it doesn't show anything else. So let's come back to socials, refresh to see if we haven't broken anything. And then let's go back to settings, slider images. And now we have nothing there, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so even though you see here, this is exactly the same page we are getting still. We have the table here, only that it has no data. Now, if you notice also here when I click settings and I click one of these disappear. The drop down disappears. So if I click on slider like that, it disappears, and then I click on links, it disappears. So don't worry about that, we'll fix it a bit later. Okay, so let's see how we can display this information. So it's okay to use a table, I think. So we're going to leave that in there. The only thing is we may need a different table altogether. So let's come back to our table here and see the items that need to be on the table itself. Okay, so there we go. So let's create a new table. The same thing we've done here is what we need to do on the other side. So copy that. Okay. Now, if you don't like this idea of creating an if statement like that, you would rather create a different function for each page. That's okay. All you have to do is change the settings here, put a different function. You can do settings underscore slider images without having to put a slash, and then you can put settings underscore socials. Then that way you're going to have to create a new function for each one of those. That might be something you want. So depending on the situation. So now here, let me go back to admin in the views, and then I want to look at socials. Yes. So I guess this was the wrong name to give our file. So I'm just going to rename this file from socials.php to settings. So I'm just going to click rename. And let's do that. Say settings.php. And of course, I have to come back here and change that socials to settings. No, that will remain as it is, except this view here, like that. Okay. So just to be sure that I haven't broken anything, I'll refresh, go back and click on socials. Okay, so everything's still good. It's back to slider images, I guess. Okay, so now let's go back to the same page, settings.php now. This is the view for the settings. All this remains the same. The only thing I need to change is the table itself. So the table here is fine, except the table head has a different header and the table contents are different. So we're going to put an if statement right here to determine where to go. So put your if statement and say PHP if. Actually, I copied the if statement like so. Only difference is I will put a full colon like that. So if type is equal to socials, so we go here and then let's go back down here. And here I would do an end if, like so. Okay, and then push everything inside. And then over here, I will put an else statement, full colon. Now, instead of just else, I'm going to use else if. So copy that, put it here. So else, oh, I lost that. I'm going to say else if type is equal to. So now instead of socials, we get wait, what is type in this URL? Slider underscore images. So copy that, paste, yes, save. So now if it's different, I do want to use a different table. And also you see the submit save settings is right there. So you can decide whether you want a different button for each of these. So you would have to move this button here or leave it there if it pertains to all the settings. So all I need to do here is copy all that, paste it here, and then I can change the heading here to something else. So first of all, I'll put what I need here, header 1 text like that. Then here we're going to have header 2 text. And then what else? Header 2 texts, main message, okay, and then what else do we need here? We need to add a link. So we're going to say product link like that. Let me come back here to compare. So product link, and then we'll have an image. I think we'll forget about the image too for now. Let's just concentrate on one image. So here I'm going to say product link, product image, and then here we're going to check if it's disabled. Like so. Okay, so I'll leave this temporarily because it kind of is similar to what we're going to have later. So back here and refresh. Okay, so undefined variable type, well, that's understood because we actually didn't send it over. So let me come back to admin.php. Right here, duplicate this line, and I'm going to have type here, which I'm going to send. Delete all that, delete all that, type like so. Okay, so no more complaints. There we go. So header text 1 to main message, product link, product image, and whether it's disabled or not. Very good. So now we just have to read from that database and then put the data here, if there is any. And also we need a button to add new. So unlike the other settings here where the slots already exist, here, because we can add new rows, we have to be able to add new rows, and we have to be able to delete and edit those rows. So let's come back here and put one final column with action to delete and edit. So let's say action here, like so. Refresh. Okay, good.